It's mysterious to me, I guess, painting. Drawing was no problem. You pick up a pencil, very immediate form of expression, but paint, I wanted to paint. I would go to museums and I would see painting. How do they do that? How do they get this? And it was just the richness of the oil paintings in the museums. And so constantly trying to figure it out and getting frustrated and over for 20 whatever years until right around 2000 where I started to figure it out. I just kept on reading and kept on trying and getting frustrated and breaking stuff until I finally figured it out. There's still a lot to learn, obviously, but technically, it was very mysterious, and it was a driving factor of like, how does somebody do that? Just to get those technical aspects down to where you're not thinking about those technical aspects, and then you can really start to hone your vision. You just sort of jump over the technical hurdles and right into like what you want to say and how you want to say it. I remember just being disillusioned with the friends I was hanging around with, and it was all Zeppelin, Aerosmith, Ted Nugent. Something I just remember bagging groceries at the supermarket and seeing the Sex Pistols on a flyer in the newsstand there, and what the hell is this? This is something completely different. Went home, my brother had already bought the record, so I wore it out, and it was just a real departure, and it was something to identify that could separate myself from my peers and try to maybe get into something different. And that's kind of how I got into music, I think. I started playing with the Replacements when I was about 19, 20. When I look back on it now, I think I liked it for like about a good solid 4 years. And then I started really getting pulled towards what I really wanted to do and how I wanted to express myself. And I looked at it as a job where I can go on tour for a couple, 3 weeks and then be off a couple, 3 weeks, month. So I just remember looking really forward to getting off the road and concentrate on what I really wanted to be doing. Primarily, when I set out to paint, I paint for myself. Again, I'm just trying to shape something that's in my head. Of course, your own emotions or whatever you're thinking about come out. Obviously, these themes keep presenting themselves. These social, societal themes of xenophobia and all these things that are dear to me start to come out in the work. And then, when you put it out there, you never know the range of comments. I mean, a lot of times people are very sort of frightened by it. In a sense, I can sort of understand it. There is like a disharmony, or there's a different what's going on here, and it's a little claustrophobic, maybe a little uneasy. Perhaps what I'm trying to do, in a sense, is to draw people in and to wrestle with something that's maybe not so comfortable. And I think that is analogous to how we regard one another, where there's a lack of understanding. Somebody doesn't like somebody and they don't even know why. Maybe it's because of something they've been programmed by. And so they feel uneasy, but there's no reason to feel uneasy. So, my paintings maybe can start a dialogue in that direction of why someone might feel uncomfortable when there's no reason to feel uncomfortable. My brother Joe happens to suffer from schizophrenia. He's probably the bravest person I think I ever have known, personally, just because of what he's had to endure. So he's inspirational that way, but also just kind of knowing him intimately growing up and watching the trials that he had to go through, it makes you start to gain an awareness of how society regards people that are deemed different or, quote, not normal. And still to this day, I see him and he still remains an inspiration and a reminder of what people have to go through. So all those themes, are very prevalent in my work. There's so many things to speak about as an artist. It's endless. I mean, right now I'm doing a series of paintings called About Hanford, which is Hanford, Washington, which is the nuclear waste site that is a horrible environmental catastrophe that's ongoing, and there's incredible amounts of nuclear waste that have affected generations of people in the area. Downwind from the factory that functioned from the 40s up until the 70s, Those are real horrors that people suffered. It's more horrific than any movie or any painting could ever portray. Sitting in front of a painting for hour upon hour, day after day, at times you want to see things move around. So I think that was the impetus to get into filmmaking, to kind of see some of my imagery actually move through space. I've done, a string of short films, but I don't feel like I'm that far into it. I'm cutting my teeth. I'm learning in filmmaking. It's just such a mystery. What makes a film good and why not, and just all the elements that go into it. And there's just so many different aspects and different avenues you can take it. So I don't know where it's going to go. I just do it, and whatever happens, I just dive in. I don't really know what I'm doing half the time. I'm just kind of, busting blocks with a hammer. And that's just the way it was with painting too. I stumbled so many times until you just keep at it and start to refine it. And I think what keeps you going isn't so much a choice as it starts to pull you, because there's something that inside you, either aesthetically or emotionally, that you just want to get out. And so the technical aspects can be rough at times, and movie making is it's another mysterious horizon. But I think, again, my natural innate flow creatively and visually is with painting, and there's still an awful lot of mystery with that. Maybe enough mystery to get me to the end of my life.